I, okay, guys, so under normal circumstances, I would do maximum 3 or 4 books a night. But right now, I felt like with my mind completely like exhausted from the first 4 books, whatever I talk about might actually be a lot more real. And if I allow myself to push beyond this limit and do an extra 2 videos, then I'll be able to explore a different way in how I explain things, which would become the new norm. Because once I'm exposed to something, then you know it's there, then ultimately your mind kind of like processes it. So here, there are 2 videos that are kind of similar, but I saw that they could be done differently. One is change how people see you in their expectations. But then the other video was about like the physical perception of how people change once you see them differently. Perception, reality, there's a whole lot of our own personal touch in creation. And normally you look at people, and especially like, I'm going to take a dramatic situation. And I'm not sure if these are 2 videos or one, but ultimately, when you are changing, whether you like to admit it or not, you're acting differently, you're talking differently, you're approaching things differently, you're moving differently. These are things that are these are the visible things that you express, exude into reality. When you are being an individual that is going through stuff, whether intentionally or unintentionally, as your reality changes, you, whether you like it or not, have to change according to that. But I think a lot of times we forget how this change affects the image that other people have of us. And that to change that image means these people have to put in some effort in order to get to know you, in order to trust you. Naturally, because the world is not really as clear cut as people would like it to be. And human beings are not really as aware about how they interact with each other as they should. So I'm sure everyone has trust issues. I'm sure everyone has like these kind of things that linger on top of you. And anxiety comes from anything. You're always looking at something and feeling that you have something to hide or something. I don't know. So let's look at it this way. I want to look at how I viewed myself when I was in West Africa, Liberia, and how when I came to Lebanon, there was a bit of shame in how I kind of allowed these years to pass, and how my image of myself, when I look, naturally, when you look at yourself and you feel like you've been lost, finding yourself, what does it really mean? It means like reconnecting with whoever you, with a certain feeling, an image of yourself in your head, a certain flow, a certain way to talk, a certain way to engage. Connecting with a certain like part of you that kind of like dictated certain things. But when you're changing towards that, away from that, or building something, whatever it is that you're doing, because like you have to construct the you that deals with the reality that you want. You have to build your own ego. If you're looking at the world around you, they're probably not really going to accept that change. And it's mainly because of the image that they had of you that doesn't really harmonize with the you of now. And a lot of people would look at you and be like, you changed, I love you, and all that good stuff. Most people would resent that. And instead of projecting this to them, let me stick to it right now and just go at it again. Effectively, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you stand will change as you change. Which means in their head, the image they had of you, what they're used to you being, is also changing. So they're going to look at you, and eventually, if they're not trying to harmonize or be in tune with you, they're going to look at you as a complete stranger. Because even though you look exactly how you did before, your face or your structure or whatever, the truth is you're a completely different person. When that is established between yourself, people around you are going to have to deal with the new you. And most of the time, they have to deal with you in a different way. Why would anyone accept that? Effectively, what you're doing is you're fucking with their reality. You're messing with how they see the world. You're messing with how they interact with the world. Because if you have changed in transitions, that means a part of reality, their reality is no longer the same. A part of their reality is no longer true. I think we should use this word true. No longer the same. A lot of things are no longer the same, but they follow a similar concept, so it's fine. Replaceable, intertwined, ingrained, any of those words. Like this. Our constants when we're in the comfort zone, when we see ourselves in the comfort zone, effectively everything is changing around us. We're just comfortable with that change. What we're comfortable with is that kind of change. But when change that alters the way we see the world happens in front of us, I don't think it's that easy to digest. Some people might take their time, and some people might kind of like slowly get to know you better. But a lot of people would still impose how they were on you because that's how you used to respond to them. And when you don't, they will interact. Like, talking about this made me think of a cousin of mine. But in all fairness, I responded in a way I used to. So he responded in a way he used to. And I don't know if I tried to get to know him better or to know him differently because he's just become a father. But I don't even think he tried to kind of like present himself in a way other than he still looks the same to me, but he didn't even try to kind of like engage with me as who he is now. I think he still is connected to family in a way that makes him remember his childhood. Which probably is a good thing for him, but for me, I'm like, no, I'm not going to forget my childhood. I'm not going to forget any of the memories I had, but like we're adults now, I think it's fair that we deal with ourselves as adults. So your own change is your own responsibility. But your own change is also everyone else's change is your responsibility. Because if I'm changing and I'm looking at somebody and I'm approaching them and I'm dealing with them as if I'm different, but I'm also dealing with them as if they're still the same. That's a lot of arrogance right there. To truly understand how you are changing and want people to accept them, even though you are changing in the way they are perceiving you. You, the new you right now, cannot be perceiving them the same way the old you used to. So because I've changed, that means they also look different to me. It has nothing to do with their change. Because I changed, they look different. And if they still look the same, that means I am missing something or arrogantly still applying my old way of seeing the world onto them, but selfishly applying the new way I see the world onto me. Oof, it's a bit heavy. How do you, I mean, I guess we could test it out tomorrow, but how do you reflect on the things that allow you to give the outside world a chance to show its changes? To give for the outside world to give you a chance to reveal the things that have changed in it as well. such a serene. I think it goes back to the last video, the couple of videos I did a couple of videos ago. It's like you really have to own up to your own, like you have to be responsible for your own change. But there's a smooth balance between like order and chaos. And I think it's the same because anytime you like feel like you changed, you have to take a step back. Maybe not take a step back, maybe just like stop, pause. Fuck, 5 minutes even once you realize that you've changed. Like allow yourself to see how you changed. In order to allow yourself to see how you're looking at things differently now. And by doing that, you're allowing your observation skills or your observation existence to see the world in a different perspective, from a different perspective. Because ultimately, the things in your reality have to change with you, or else you haven't changed at all. You just kind of like egotistically pretending to change. This is intense, man. This is fucking intense. I really just like completely calmed down while thinking about this stuff. Like I completely like went into some form of like melancholic realization, like epiphany style trance. Okay, guys, that's just when I changed. I'm gonna do how when other people change and how they look differently on me.